Have you ever wondered if friendships are really necessary for happiness in retirement? Or do you feel the pressure to stay socially active even when it drains your energy? What if I told you that you don't need a bunch of friends or constant social interactions to live a fulfilling, peaceful life after retirement? Embracing solitude could be the key to unlocking a more authentic and joyful existence in your golden years. In this video, we'll explore the surprising truth about retirement that could change the way you view this exciting new chapter of life. You'll discover how letting go of superficial friendships, lowering your expectations, and focusing on the relationships that truly matter can free you from unnecessary stress and open doors to more meaningful connections. We'll also dive into why it's okay to redefine your purpose, embrace the beauty of aging gracefully, and prioritize your well-being over societal pressures. By the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of how to create a fulfilling retirement that doesn't depend on maintaining every old connection or seeking constant validation. If you're tired of feeling obligated to meet others' expectations or overwhelmed by the pressure to stay busy, this video will give you the insight and practical steps you need to live a more peaceful, empowered, and authentic life in retirement. So, stick with us until the end. You won't want to miss these valuable tips and truths that will help you make the most of your retirement years. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. The essence of retirement. Retirement is more than just an end to a career. It is the beginning of a new and transformative chapter in life. After spending decades in the whirlwind of work, family obligations, and social expectations, stepping into retirement can feel like both a relief and a deep challenge. There's a certain bittersweetness in letting go of what once defined your days, but there's also an incredible opportunity for growth, reflection, and rediscovery. At first, the uncertainty can feel overwhelming, even a little scary. It's natural to wonder what comes next, or if you've lost something in leaving behind the routine and responsibilities that shaped your life for so long. But retirement isn't about losing, it's about gaining. It's about shedding the weight of unnecessary burdens and stepping into a freedom that many of us don't experience until later in life. As the days go by, you may start to notice something incredible. Your priorities begin to shift. What once seemed essential, what you once thought you couldn't live without, begins to lose its grip on your heart. And that's not a loss, it's evolution. It's a natural progression of growth that happens when you've been through the fire and emerge with a clearer understanding of yourself. Your time and energy are precious, and now you get to decide what truly deserves your focus. Gone are the days of meeting others' expectations and juggling endless demands that often drain you. In retirement, there's a beautiful freedom in no longer needing to answer to anyone but yourself. This is your time to reimagine your life, to reshape it in a way that feels aligned with the person you become, rather than the person you once were. Embrace the things that bring you joy, the activities that fuel your soul, the relationships that nourish you, and the quiet moments that remind you of what it truly means to live in peace. It's okay to step away from relationships that have long since lost their vibrancy, and it's okay to say no to the things that no longer serve you. Letting go doesn't mean you abandon others. It means you're choosing to carry only what adds to your life in a meaningful way. You're choosing to carry only what makes you feel alive, supported, and truly happy. Retirement is an invitation to live authentically, to live on your terms. No longer bound by the responsibilities of the past, it's your time to thrive, not just survive. The journey ahead is yours to shape, and it's a beautiful one filled with endless possibilities. It's not about what you've left behind, it's about embracing everything that lies ahead with open arms, knowing that the best is yet to come. So, let this chapter be one where you finally stop seeking approval and start seeking joy. This is your moment to live fully and to be true to who you are, unapologetically and without regret. It's a time to make peace with the past, celebrate the present, and step into the future with gratitude and excitement. Your retirement isn't just a period of rest. It's a time for you to create the life you've always wanted, to live your truest self. Stay with us as we explore how to make this new journey one of fulfillment, meaning, and lasting joy. 2. The cost of maintaining friendships. Retirement is an eye-opening experience, and with it comes a profound clarity about life, relationships, and what truly matters. One of the most unexpected revelations is how you begin to see friendships differently. The truth is, as you enter this new phase, not all friendships are worth maintaining. It can be a difficult truth to accept, especially after decades of nurturing relationships, but it's an essential one. At this stage in life, keeping up with every friendship can sometimes feel more like an obligation than a blessing. But let me be clear, this isn't selfish, it's practical, and it's a crucial part of your journey toward living a more peaceful and intentional life. Friendships, much like any other aspect of life, require effort. They require time, energy, and yes, resources. Meeting friends for coffee, remembering birthdays, and buying gifts, they're all investments. These are acts of care, but they also take something from you, and as you get older, you start to feel the weight of these small efforts adding up. When you're younger, it might feel easy to spread yourself thin, to keep many relationships afloat, but retirement offers you the invaluable gift of time, and with it comes the realization that your time is precious. You deserve to spend it on things that truly matter to your soul, and that includes the people you surround yourself with. Some friendships enrich our lives in ways we can't even describe, while others, well, they seem to drain us, leaving us feeling exhausted, unappreciated, or even empty. It's critical, especially as you grow older, to distinguish between these two kinds of friendships. Ask yourself, how many of the people in your life are there because you share meaningful values, not just because you share a past? Are you holding on to them because you feel obligated, out of loyalty, or because they truly add joy and fulfillment to your life? These are tough questions, but they are necessary ones if you want to navigate the final chapters of your life with purpose and clarity. Retirement gives you the gift of reflection. It allows you to step back and reassess which relationships are worth your energy and which ones need to be let go. This isn't about ending relationships abruptly or cutting people out of your life out of anger or resentment. It's about understanding that some connections no longer align with the person you've become. And that's okay. We all change, and sometimes those changes mean that a once-meaning relationship no longer fits into the fabric of our lives. Letting go doesn't mean you're bitter or that you didn't care for them. It simply means you're making room for the people and experiences that truly bring you peace and joy. The dynamics of friendships inevitably shift with age, and it's crucial to recognize this evolution. Those who once depended on your kindness or generosity may now look at you differently. You may find that what once felt like a warm visit now feels like an imposition. The invitations you once extended may no longer be welcomed with the same enthusiasm. It's a hard truth to swallow, but one that becomes clearer as you age. And rather than being hurt or angry about it, understanding it can protect your peace and mental well-being. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Moving forward, the key is quality, not quantity. Focus on nurturing the few relationships that truly add value to your life, the ones that bring you joy, laughter, and mutual respect. It's okay to let go of the friendships that no longer serve you. You don't need to feel guilty about it. Releasing these relationships can be a form of self-care, allowing you to prioritize your well-being. As you step into retirement, remember, the friendships that are meant to stay will naturally thrive, and the rest will gently drift away. And when they do, hold no bitterness, just gratitude for the good times shared, the lessons learned, and the memories that will always remain. 3. Shifting dynamics in relationships. One of the most eye-opening and sometimes painful truths about retirement is how dramatically relationships can change. As you transition into this new phase of life, the relationships that once felt solid, dependable, and unbreakable can start to feel less certain. The people who were once a central part of your daily life, colleagues, friends, acquaintances, can suddenly seem distant, and the dynamics you've long taken for granted may shift in ways you never expected. This isn't a failure, nor is it something to feel ashamed of. Rather, it's simply a natural evolution, a part of the beautiful, unpredictable cycle of life. As you retire, you may start to notice that people treat you differently. Colleagues who once respected your expertise, your leadership, or your position in the company might become strangely distant. There might even be a sense of awkwardness, as if they no longer know how to relate to you without the context of your work life. Friends who once leaned on you for advice, emotional support, or companionship may no longer seem as eager to connect, perhaps because their need for you has faded or because their own lives have taken different paths. These shifts can be deeply unsettling, especially when the relationships you thought were strong and enduring seem to evaporate before your eyes. But the truth is, this isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of the changing circumstances. In our working years, many of our relationships are inherently tied to our roles and responsibilities. Whether it's our position at work, our ability to help others, or the mutual benefits that come with the time we spend together. It's easy to think that these connections are built on something deeper, something more authentic. But when those circumstances change, when you retire, when you no longer hold the same position, or when you're no longer able to offer the same support, those relationships often shift as well. And it can be hard to face the fact that many of these relationships were not built on genuine connection, but rather on the circumstances of the time. This realization can sting. It can feel like a loss, a betrayal even, as you come to terms with the fact that some of the people you thought you could count on were only there because of what you could offer. But here's the key: this truth doesn't have to make you feel disheartened. Instead, it offers you the rare and invaluable opportunity to refocus your energy on authenticity and nurturing the relationships that matter most. Ask yourself, who are the people who value you for who you truly are? Not for your job title, not for your status, not for what you can give them. Who are the ones who are there not because they need something, but simply because they appreciate you? Retirement is the gift of time, of freedom, and it provides you with the perfect chance to cultivate those authentic connections that nourish your soul. At this stage in life, it's so important not to cling to relationships out of habit or obligation. Don't waste your precious energy visiting people who no longer welcome you, or holding on to ties that no longer feel balanced. When you try to maintain relationships with people who don't reciprocate your care and affection, it's draining. It's soul-depleting. Instead, redirect that energy that is uniquely yours, toward the people who make you feel seen, who fill you with joy, who lift you. Those are the relationships worth investing in, the ones that will continue to enrich your life and make your heart feel full. We can't ignore the emotional impact of these shifting dynamics. For many, realizing that some relationships were transactional rather than truly personal can bring a wave of sadness or even regret. But I believe that this recognition also brings a sense of liberation. When you finally stop seeking validation from others, when you release the need to prove your worth, a beautiful thing happens. You create space in your life for true peace. The burden of maintaining superficial or one-sided relationships lifts, and in that space, you can breathe. You can begin to define how you want to connect with others, not based on old patterns but from a place of genuine clarity and self-awareness. Retirement is a time of transformation, a time to redefine how you connect with those around you. It's not about loneliness, nor is it about abandonment. It's about curating the relationships that truly matter, those that make you feel alive, that fill your heart with warmth, and that inspire you to grow. By graciously letting go of those connections that were never meant to last, you open yourself up to a world of deeper, more meaningful bonds. And in doing so, you'll find a sense of clarity, a peace that radiates from within, and a fulfillment that is far more profound than anything you could have imagined. 4. The reality of social and professional status. Retirement has a way of peeling back the layers of our lives, revealing truths that we may have been blind to during our years of work. It's an emotional experience, a bittersweet mix of both humbling realization and, if we're brave enough to embrace it, profound liberation. The professional identity we've spent decades cultivating begins to lose its grip, and with it, so too does the social status that once defined so much of how we were perceived by the world. It's a reality check that stirs something deep inside, a blend of loss, confusion, and, unexpectedly, freedom. Throughout our careers, we were defined by our titles, our positions, and the authority they conferred upon us. How others treated us, whether it was colleagues, neighbors, or even old friends, often stemmed from the roles we played. We were valued for our work, for our expertise, and the respect that came with what we represented. But when we retire, that external validation begins to dissolve. The formalities we once enjoyed, being asked for our opinions, being sought out for our approval, or even being regarded with a sense of reverence, seem to fade into the background, like an old photograph losing its color over time. This shift can be jarring, almost like being left in a quiet room after the music stops. Some relationships, especially those that were once built on professional proximity, may begin to wither. People who once sought our company now seem distant, or worse, completely indifferent. It's hard not to feel a pang of loneliness when those connections are no longer there. It's as if, without the framework of our work, we lose a piece of ourselves in the eyes of others. But perhaps this is the painful but essential moment when we're given a chance to truly see the people around us for who they are and who we are without the title. And with that realization comes the opportunity to break free from the ties that kept us tethered to external validation. Let's take professional gatherings as an example. When we were in the thick of our careers, our presence at such events was often marked by a sense of importance. Our opinions were valued, our insights were sought after, and we felt a sense of influence, even power. We were at the top of our game, basking in the glory of our accomplishments, and the world treated us as such. But once we retire, the invitations to these gatherings dwindle, and the acknowledgments become scarce. It's a hard pill to swallow, as we realize that we're no longer the central figure in the conversation. But here's where the magic of retirement can truly begin. It's not about losing value, but about realizing that the value we've been given by society is superficial. It's a reminder that we are far more than the sum of our career achievements, far more than what others see in us. In the quiet moments of retirement, we're given a gift, the chance to rediscover who we are beyond the title, the role, and the expectations. The external pressures of needing to keep up a certain image begin to fade, and we are left with the raw, beautiful essence of ourselves. And with that comes the opportunity to rebuild, to reconnect with people who appreciate us for who we truly are, not for what we can do for them or how we can influence their lives. Once transactional relationships begin to feel empty, rather than mourning them, we can choose to invest our energy in the connections that bring us joy, love, and fulfillment. It's a difficult transition, and one that can leave us questioning our self-worth. But in the end, retirement offers something extraordinary. It pushes us to let go of the need for external validation and to focus instead on the richness of internal fulfillment. It's a period of profound self-reflection, where we can finally take stock of our value. What we've achieved may no longer matter to the world, but it doesn't diminish the incredible person we've become. The journey we've lived, the wisdom we've gained, and the love we've shared, those are the things that truly define us. In this phase of life, we have the freedom to live authentically, without the pressure of needing to prove anything. And that, in itself, is one of the most beautiful gifts we can receive. Your worth isn't tied to the title on your business card, but to the depth of your heart, the authenticity of your soul, and the way you've lived your life. Embrace that, and you'll find a peace that no job or title could ever give. 5. Family as the core focus in retirement. One undeniable truth becomes crystal clear as you step into the golden years of retirement. Family is your anchor. In a world that seems ever-changing, where friendships may slowly fade and professional connections dissolve into memories, your family remains a constant source of love, understanding, and unwavering support. This is your moment, your opportunity, to shift your focus and build even deeper, more meaningful relationships with those who matter most. The truth is that retirement is a monumental transition, one that comes with both excitement and trepidation. As the structured routines of work and the pressure of social obligations begin to fade, it's only natural to feel a sense of emptiness, a void where your daily responsibilities once lived. But rather than filling that void with fleeting friendships or superficial activities, why not pour your energy into nurturing the connections that truly bring fulfillment and joy to your heart? Family offers a sense of belonging that no group of friends or fleeting acquaintance can ever hope to replicate. The deep, unconditional love you share with your family, whether by blood or bond, provides a sense of security and comfort that is hard to find elsewhere. Of course, this doesn't mean you should place unrealistic expectations on your family to meet all your emotional needs. Rather, it's about appreciating the beauty in those simple moments. The laughter shared over dinner, the quiet afternoons spent with your grandchildren, or simply the comfort of knowing that, no matter what happens, you are part of something bigger. In these small, seemingly mundane interactions, you find the richness and depth that work and the hustle of life never afforded you. This is where true fulfillment lies. These are the moments that, over time, weave a tapestry of memories, stories, and experiences that will stay with you forever. But what if your family isn't nearby, or if the relationships you share with them are strained or complicated? This is where you can redefine what family means. Family doesn't always have to be about shared bloodlines. Sometimes, family is made up of those rare individuals who offer their support without hesitation, and who share their hearts with you selflessly, regardless of whether you share a last name. These are the friends who have become family, the neighbors who've shown you what true kindness looks like, and the mentors who have guided you with wisdom and compassion. It's about surrounding yourself with those who care for you sincerely, and whose presence makes you feel seen, heard, and valued. In retirement, you can choose to build the kind of family that lifts you, that cherishes you, and that brings peace to your soul. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. Retirement also brings with it the gift of freedom. The freedom to give in ways that feel authentic and meaningful to you. In the years prior, you might have felt obligated to give to others because of societal expectations or a sense of duty. But now, as you step into this new phase of life, you have the power to contribute to the world around you in ways that are truly meaningful to your heart. Whether it's offering the wisdom you've gathered over the years, being an emotional rock for those who need you, or simply showing up as a loving presence in the lives of others, the way you give will feel more intentional and fulfilling than ever before. It's also important to remember that family life doesn't have to be perfect to be fulfilling. Just as with any relationship, the bonds you share with your family will require effort, patience, and understanding. But the beauty of retirement is that you now have the time to nurture these relationships without the constant distractions of work or the pressures of meeting outside expectations. You have the space to simply be with your loved ones, to grow together, and to savor the moments you have with them. In doing so, you'll find that the foundation of love and support you build in this phase of life will make this chapter one of the most rewarding and meaningful yet. At the end of the day, it's not about having everyone around all the time. It's about cherishing the moments you do have, making the most of the time you're given, and embracing the love that's already there. In retirement, family becomes the heart and soul of your existence, an irreplaceable part of your journey. It's a quiet, beautiful reminder that the greatest treasures in life are often the people we are lucky enough to share them with. 6. Reduced expectations and embracing solitude as you retire. As you transition into retirement, one of the most liberating and profound lessons you can learn is that lowering your expectations leads to a deeper, more lasting sense of peace. For years, many of us have relied on the validation of others, whether through friendships, professional recognition, or social approval, to feel valued and connected. Yet, as you enter this new chapter of life, you begin to realize a truth that can be both freeing and humbling. True fulfillment doesn't come from the external world. It comes from within. It's a hard truth, but it's an undeniable one. Some of the people you once considered close friends may not remain in your life. People change, lives shift, and sometimes, relationships that once felt solid start to fade. In some cases, those connections may turn out to have been more superficial than you ever imagined. It's not a reflection of you, but rather the natural ebb and flow of life. Instead of holding on desperately to those relationships, consider letting them go with gratitude and understanding. By releasing expectations and freeing yourself from the weight of unmet needs, you pave the way for a life that is less clouded by disappointment. There's a tendency, especially in our fast-paced, always connected world, to see solitude as something to be feared. We're conditioned to think that being alone equates to loneliness, but nothing could be further from the truth. Solitude, when embraced, becomes one of the most enriching and peaceful states of being. It's an opportunity to reconnect with yourself on a level that may have been neglected for years. In the stillness, you rediscover your passions, your inner voice, and your sense of joy in life's simplest pleasures. This isn't loneliness. This is independence. It's learning to find peace in your own company and savor the quiet moments that allow for profound self-reflection and growth. Think of this time as a gift, a rare and precious opportunity. Without the pressure of social obligations and the demands of maintaining a busy life, you are free to focus on what truly brings you happiness and fulfillment. Maybe there's a hobby you've always dreamed of trying, or a passion you've set aside for too long. Perhaps it's spending more time outdoors, letting nature's beauty refresh and inspire you. Maybe it's deepening your relationship with your family, free from distractions. This is your time to invest in yourself. You might worry that pulling back from social events and obligations will lead to feelings of isolation, but in reality, the opposite often happens. As you let go of the weight of expectations, you'll find that the relationships that truly matter, the ones grounded in mutual respect, understanding, and love, will not only survive but flourish. You'll begin to realize that these connections were not dependent on constant interaction or validation, but on the strength of their foundation. Retirement is not about loneliness or being cut off from the world. It's about reclaiming your time, your peace, and your energy. It's about learning to appreciate yourself, knowing that you don't need others to validate your worth. In embracing solitude, you unlock a deep sense of inner peace, a peace that no external connection can provide. And in that peace, you'll find a renewed sense of purpose, a joy that comes from simply being. So, don't fear solitude. Embrace it. Welcome it as a chance to rediscover who you truly are and to build a life that is rich in self-awareness and personal fulfillment. 7. Avoid unrealistic comparisons. Retirement should be a time of personal reflection, growth, and relaxation. A season where you can focus on the path that is uniquely yours. However, it's far too easy to fall into the trap of comparing your life to others, especially when you hear about those rare stories of people starting new businesses at 65 or penning best-selling books after 70. While these stories are certainly inspiring, they shouldn't be the measuring stick for your happiness. Let's face it, most of these success stories are exceptions to the rule, and they can create unrealistic standards that leave you feeling frustrated or inadequate. Why should anyone expect to keep up with someone else's journey? The truth is that comparing yourself to others can rob you of the true joy and contentment that retirement should bring. Instead, you need to turn inward and ask yourself, what makes me happy? What brings me peace, fulfillment, and joy? It's normal to look up to others and admire their achievements, but don't let their accomplishments make you feel less than. Your retirement is not a competition. It's your time, your moment to rest, reflect, and explore what truly matters to you. Forget the pressure of living someone else's life. Your journey is yours to define. Think about the small, simple things you've always longed to experience but didn't have the time for when life was full of demands. Perhaps it's planting a garden, reading a book you've always meant to finish, or spending slow, unhurried days with your family. These are not things that make headlines, but they have the power to fill your heart in ways that are infinitely more meaningful than any public recognition could. Remember, success doesn't always have to be about accolades or public admiration. There is deep fulfillment to be found in giving back quietly, whether that's through volunteering, mentoring, or simply being present in your community. These acts of kindness may never go viral or make the front page of the newspaper, but they create ripples of change that last far longer than any trending topic could. Letting go of unrealistic comparisons is not about giving up on your dreams. It's about redirecting your energy toward goals that truly resonate with your values and your current capabilities. It's about savoring the life you've built and finding joy in the simplicity of your days. It's not about proving anything to anyone. It's about honoring your journey, whatever it may look like. By resisting the pull to measure yourself against others, you'll free yourself from unnecessary pressures. And, in turn, you'll open the door to authentic happiness. This is your time to truly thrive in your way. Celebrate it, embrace it, and let the rest fall away. Because when you live for yourself, with intention and without comparison, you find a joy so deep, so pure, that it can't be shaken by anyone else's story. 8. Practical financial wisdom in retirement. As we enter the golden years of retirement, one of the most profound lessons we must learn is the importance of managing our resources with care and wisdom. After decades of hard work, it's only natural to want to share the fruits of our labor with those we love, whether it's our children, grandchildren, or close friends. However, it's essential to face a simple yet undeniable truth. The foundation of our peace of mind lies in our financial stability. We've spent our lives building something, and now, it's time to protect and preserve it. We've earned the right to enjoy our retirement without unnecessary worry, and that means learning to prioritize ourselves as we age. As we transition into this next phase of life, we may find that our income sources become more fixed, whether it's a pension, savings, or investments. But these sources are finite. They are not endless wells of resources, and as much as we may want to give freely, we must acknowledge that each financial decision we make will shape the future we can look forward to. The temptation to support adult children or relatives out of guilt or a sense of obligation is a strong one. We love them, of course, but giving too much can quickly drain our resources faster than we realize. It's heartbreaking to even consider, but being too generous can compromise our ability to live comfortably later on. I've come to believe that it's not just okay, but necessary, to set boundaries when it comes to finances. It's not about being selfish. It's about ensuring that we have the security we need, not just for ourselves, but for those we may one day need to rely on. Financial independence, in many ways, is about being able to live without being a burden on anyone else. Our responsibility to ourselves is just as important as our love for others. Think for a moment. If our children or relatives are capable of managing their own lives, isn't it more valuable to teach them independence rather than enabling dependence? This can be a difficult pill to swallow, but offering a loan instead of a gift, or encouraging them to solve their problems, can foster resilience and growth. We aren't abandoning them, we're empowering them. We're giving them the tools they need to become strong, self-sufficient individuals, just as we were once taught. Another trap that's easy to fall into in retirement is the overwhelming temptation to overspend on things that don't genuinely enhance our lives. We live in a world that often equates love with gifts and experiences, and we can feel pressure to keep up appearances by indulging in lavish gifts or frequent trips to maintain connections with others. But the reality is that true relationships aren't built on expensive gestures. They're nurtured through simple acts of kindness, an afternoon spent with a loved one, a genuine conversation, or a shared meal. These are the things that feed our souls, not the latest gadget or the most extravagant vacation. Here's a piece of advice that I believe can transform how we approach our finances in retirement. Take the time to create a budget that aligns with your new lifestyle. Focus on experiences, hobbies, and activities that bring you true joy, those that enrich your life and nourish your spirit. Health, meaningful travel, and hobbies that keep your mind and body active should be at the top of your list. And don't feel guilty for saying no to the things that don't align with this vision. It's perfectly okay to turn down unnecessary expenses, even if it's with those you love. It doesn't mean you love them any less. It simply means you're being intentional about what matters most. By managing your finances with intention and care, you can enjoy a retirement free of stress or regret. Your resources should be a tool for living a fulfilling life, not a means to buy approval or fulfill outdated obligations. Prioritize what truly brings you peace, and you'll create a future filled with the kind of stability and serenity we all deserve. 9. Redefining purpose in retirement. Retirement. What a profound and liberating transition it can be. It's like being handed a blank canvas, an opportunity to create a new masterpiece of life, free from the constraints of daily obligations and the relentless rush of the working world. After decades of waking up to meet someone else's demands, this is the time to reclaim your freedom and redefine what gives your life meaning and joy. It's your chance to step into a life that feels authentically yours, a life shaped by your passions, your desires, and your heart's deepest yearnings. But here's the truth that often catches many of us off guard. The pressure to achieve and compete no longer serves us in this new chapter. Let that go. When we retire, we're not meant to chase the same trophies we once did, nor should we be held captive by expectations from the past. Instead, retirement invites us to pause and reflect on what we truly value. It's about letting go of external pressures, about releasing the belief that our worth is tied to what we accomplish or how much we can outpace others. In this precious time, purpose is not defined by deadlines or productivity, but by what truly nourishes our souls. As we step into retirement, many of us feel an instinctual pull to recreate the sense of purpose we had in our careers. It's easy to fall into the temptation of returning to old work, to dive headfirst into the projects we left behind, or even to start something entirely new. But if we're honest with ourselves, this approach often leads to frustration, disappointment, and exhaustion. The world has changed. Our energy, our interests, and our priorities have evolved, and trying to meet the same demands we once did can feel like an uphill battle that leads nowhere. The key is to release the need to prove ourselves in the same ways. Instead of chasing after achievements and external measures of success, it's time to think about what truly fills you with peace, with contentment. Perhaps it's the simple joy of tending to your garden, the creative release found in painting, or the soul-soothing experience of walking through the woods. These are not just passing interests or distractions. They are paths to fulfillment, free from the burden of deadlines and the pressure to be the best. They are invitations to slow down, to breathe, and to rediscover joy in the small moments. And let me remind you, purpose doesn't have to be grand to be deeply meaningful. It can reside in the quiet moments spent volunteering, in the satisfaction of mentoring a young person, or in the precious act of sharing your life's wisdom with those who seek it. These simple yet profound contributions bring a deep sense of accomplishment that no award or recognition could ever replicate. Purpose, in this stage of life, comes not from what others expect of us, but from what makes us feel whole, what connects us to the world in a meaningful, fulfilling way. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Retirement also opens the door to untapped passions and curiosities that were once pushed aside by the demands of work. Maybe you've always dreamt of learning to play the piano, of taking up photography or writing the story of your life. These pursuits, whether or not they lead to recognition or profit, carry immense value. Their worth lies in the joy and fulfillment they bring to your everyday existence, in the personal satisfaction they bring as you dive into them with no expectation other than to enjoy the process itself. Letting go of the need for external validation is perhaps one of the most liberating gifts of retirement. This chapter is yours to live on your terms. No longer do you have to measure your worth by the standards set by others. Instead, you can live fully, authentically, and deeply connected to your sense of purpose. This is your time to explore, to create, to grow, and to connect with yourself and others in the most meaningful ways possible. Embrace the space to make life truly your own, and in doing so, you'll find that your days are not just filled, they're enriched, overflowing with joy, peace, and purpose. Retirement is not just a time to slow down, it's a time to thrive. One step, one choice, one day at a time. This is your moment to shine in a way that no one else can, to create a life that reflects the wisdom and peace you've earned. 10. The philosophy of aging gracefully. As retirement gently unfolds, we begin to discover one of the most powerful, yet often overlooked lessons of life: how to age gracefully. Society tends to pressure us, pushing us to chase after the fleeting beauty of youth or to cling to past accomplishments that may no longer serve us. The external world tells us to stay young, stay relevant, and keep pushing forward. But deep within, there is an undeniable truth. There is profound beauty in simply allowing ourselves to embrace the natural flow of life, to let go of the relentless pursuit of something that was never meant to last forever. Aging is not something to fight against. It's something to accept, honor, and embrace with open arms. By releasing self-imposed deadlines and letting go of the desire to please everyone around us, we free ourselves to experience a deeper, more peaceful existence, one that is rich in meaning and fulfillment. Growing older doesn't mean that your dreams should fade into the background. It's quite the opposite. It means embracing the reality of who you are now, fully and unapologetically, while honoring the journey that's brought you here. It's no longer about comparing yourself to the person you once were or the person society tells you should be. Instead, it's about understanding the immense wealth of wisdom and insight you've acquired along the way, which, by the way, only grows deeper with age. The lessons life has taught you, the ones you've earned through the trials and triumphs, are now treasures you can offer to the world. Whether it's through sharing your stories, offering advice, or simply being a listening ear for someone in need, you have become a beacon of guidance for others. You have something no one else can replicate: your unique perspective, shaped by a lifetime of experiences. In this season of life, your physical energy may ebb and flow, and that's perfectly okay. The truth is, we often beat ourselves up for not being as energetic as we once were, as if we should still be running at the same pace. But in reality, aging is a beautiful invitation to slow down, honor the body that has served you so well, and truly treasure the moments that were once too rushed to appreciate. There is no shame in moving at a pace that suits you. Let go of the guilt. Instead, embrace the quiet, the simplicity. A leisurely walk around the block, an afternoon spent lost in a book, or a slow, meaningful conversation with a loved one. These moments, once overlooked, now become some of the most precious gifts of life. When you're no longer rushing to meet external demands, when the pressure of deadlines no longer looms over you, you start to see the beauty in the small, ordinary moments that hold the deepest significance. It's easy to fall into the trap of feeling like you need to constantly prove your worth, to stay relevant in a world that often seems to favor the young and the fast-paced. But let me tell you this: you are under no obligation to keep up with the world's definition of success. You don't need to be the life of every party or the center of attention. There is an incredible freedom in choosing not to overextend yourself, to simply be content with who you are, exactly as you are. Aging gracefully is about finding fulfillment in the quiet, subtle things, like spending time with your grandchildren, sharing a laugh with a neighbor, or discovering a new hobby that brings you joy without any expectation of perfection or achievement. You have nothing to prove anymore, and that is one of the most liberating feelings you will ever experience. In this season of life, gratitude becomes your most powerful ally. The years behind you are not just years spent. They are years filled with lessons, growth, love, and experiences that have shaped you into the person you are today. Reflecting on the hardships you've overcome, the triumphs you've celebrated, the people you've loved and lost, these reflections are rich with meaning. Gratitude has the incredible power to transform the aging process from something to fear into something to cherish. With each passing year, you've gained not only more time but also more perspective. The wrinkles and silver hair are badges of honor, proof that you've lived a life full of moments, both big and small, that have left their mark on your soul. Above all, remember this: there is no perfect way to age gracefully. Aging is a deeply personal process, unique to each individual. It is shaped by your values, your choices, and your willingness to accept where you are in this very moment. By embracing who you are today, with all of your strengths and vulnerabilities, you will find a profound peace that no external validation can ever replace. This is your time. Time to shine in your way, without the need for applause or recognition. Time to live calmly, purposefully, and wholeheartedly. The beauty of aging gracefully is that it allows you to step into the most authentic version of yourself, a version that is free from comparison, free from judgment, and fully aligned with your truth. As we wrap up today's discussion on aging gracefully, I want to ask you, what have you learned so far? How has your perspective on growing older shifted? Aging isn't something to fear or resist, but rather something to embrace with gratitude, patience, and self-love. I'd love to hear from you. Comment below and share one thing you've learned today that you plan to bring into your own life. It could be a small change or a mindset shift, but whatever it is, let's support each other in living our best lives, no matter our age. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content that celebrates the beauty of aging. Thank you for being part of this wonderful community. Together, let's continue to grow and live fully, with grace and intention.